inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell,
by the way, I'm live.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Well, okay, we're strapped. Oh, yep. Oh, I can't get this thing off. There we go. Nope. Can you get the thing? Hey, welcome there, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? This is the Political Spotlight. I am your host. It's the 238th episode, aptly titled Odds and Ends, and we are very, very odd here, let me tell you. Welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, all five of you. That's always, I tell you, the two most crushing things in the world is when we first get on and it says, like, there's only 2 people watching, right? You know, right when before the ticker kicks up and it starts kicking up and gets up at least into the 20s, you know, good Lord. That's the first kicker, and it's just on the screen and there's nothing we can do with it. And second of all, the next crushing thing is when all of my favorite people in here always, and I know that you guys are trying the thing everybody always does, and there's a couple of you that are specifically like do it a lot. You're like the bad actors. You're the people that you're the common folks that do it. My frequent flyers is when people say, it says there's 22 people watching and we've only got 9 likes. Come on. I know you guys are trying to help, because furthermore, what actually happens is there's actually more than that. The little screen up here shows us everybody that's watching across all platforms. And so when you're announcing to the world that there's only 22 people watching this idiot in his basement, actually there's more than that, but it's all those things that I'm like, oh man, look, we're a nobody. I'm just bitching. I'm feeling in my, it must be that time of the month. I'm in my feels today. Welcome everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. All 14 of you. Hey, I see that flopping up there on the screen. Hope you guys are doing well. Tonight's going to be interesting. Man, it is really hot in here. I need to turn that fan on there, but in order for me to do that, I've got to do a lot of craziness. So we won't be doing that for right now. Hope you guys are doing well. We had a very good long show last night, and we got a lot of information out, and we've had a lot of people been messaging me today and asking me information about the show last night. A bunch of people who have asked me about the document, and I still have not got the document shared to social media. I will get that done. I will hopefully get that done tonight. When we got off last night, Kate and I stayed on talking about just political spotlight crap, and so it kind of got away from me and I didn't do it, but I will get that done tonight, and have that up there if you guys are interested in seeing it. I did send it out to a couple of people that also might find it of interest, and it might jog other content later on. I'll keep you guys posted about that as well. Tonight, this episode, Odds and Ends, we're going to talk about a few different things going on in a couple different areas. We got a couple things that I want to talk about and clear up. Also, here in a minute, I'm going to launch into a Bilbrey time story. We're going to tell a story. But before we get there, as always, I do want to remind those of you that are watching, wherever you're watching from, welcome. Thank you for being here. We are so thrilled that you have allowed us to share a little bit of your time, whether you're watching live or on repeat. thank you for being here. We appreciate it. If you are watching from YouTube, welcome, and please consider hitting that like button either now or at some point during the video. We would be very appreciative of that. If you are watching on YouTube and you have not subscribed, please consider doing that. It costs you absolutely nothing to subscribe. It also doesn't really offer you anything other than it will allow you to hit the bell, which will allow you to set up your notifications for when we go live and when we release static content and shorts and blah, blah, blah. And that might be important to you. We are normally live 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, but there are times that we have breaking news or we release static videos, so you'll want to consider that. We are a very interactive show, and we do want to communicate. And I don't know what I was doing there. So, take 2. We are a live show, and we do want to communicate with you. So if you are watching live and on YouTube, please comment over here in the live comment box. If you're watching on YouTube via repeat, comment down below. And if you're watching via Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or one of the other ways, welcome. Thank you for being here. That's fantastic. We are so happy to have you. I will say that we are happy to have you here watching from wherever, but I will tell you that YouTube might be a better experience for you just because you'll get to see the people that are commenting. So that's a big thing, and we definitely welcome you here. And then above all else, please share the show with everyone you know. That will help us drastically. Looky here. Charlize says, work on public space phase 2 riverfront has begun. A ground at former High Street Square is being demoed as we, like literally as we speak at 9 p.m. That's a weird time for ground to be being demoed at 9 p.m. We've got to the part, like, this time last week, it still would have been light outside, but the night is creeping in. That's only for my grandmother, who that freaks out. We both suffer, I think, from seasonal affective disorder. Horribly bad. All right, so that's crazy. I'll have to go down there and take a look at that. We were just talking about that the other day. Northbound Wheeling Avenue lanes, Milled Bridge to Neely, soon to be paved. Yes, right before the fair kicks in. What's she saying? No night demo. What are we talking about? They're doing night demo or they're not doing night demo? I see the hurricane has finally reached its way to Indiana. Y'all's weather okay up there? I'm okay. It was a little damp today, but it is what it is. The night is dark and full of terrors. That's absolutely true. This program is full of terrors. Also, no night demo. Well, when that was such an amazing comment, she wanted to say it twice. And it means as much to me the second time as it did the first time. Daytime demo only. Okay, now that cleared it up. Okay. So it wasn't as we speak. It was like as we're speaking.
Charlize uses proper punctuation. So if she was saying that no, it's a night demo, it would be no, comma, night demo.
Well, yeah, right.
This way
Yes,
it's being used as an adjective.
Right.
No night demo.
No nighttime demo.
Right.
Well, that's okay. So we're good there.
Grammar matters.
Well, my head is exploding. Yeah, but this got confusing as we speak. As we speak. No, I get you. I'm happy that you're telling us that. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I did not know that was going on. We're also going to be talking about the Wheeling deal. We're going to be talking about the AFSCME contract negotiations. Where are we with that? Today is the day that they were supposed to be meeting. Now, do we know what happened? We'll let you know a little bit later on in the show. Also, some work on the skate park stuff is starting to take off. And there's just a lot of different things we want to talk about. But, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into all of that, sometimes here on the program, we like to soften the mood a little bit as we ease into the political aspect with a little story time with Bilbrey. And as I know that there are some of you that are watching that are not commenting and are so much concerned in the whole social justice, First Amendment auditing world, and we're out there sticking it to the man, hating the pigs, fighting the police, and carrying on. I figured, and a lot of you will give me crap about my time in law enforcement. I figured I would finally give you a little story about my days in law enforcement, and specifically giving you what you want, giving you a time where I violated the rights under the color of law as a police officer, doing something that was just horribly bad, so you guys can hate on me and want to burn me down to the ground and do whatever. And it was actually a story on TMZ that caused this to pop up, and I will tell you why. We will get there here in just a second. I do want to answer Alva. When is the next gun show trip to Vegas? Well, I think it's not really gun shows. It was the SHOT Show that they go to, and they didn't go this year, I don't think. I think they missed the SHOT Show this year. So it definitely won't be at least until next year. Oh, they will be sending Niles to Nashville from now on, which, listen, Nashville is no
yes,
Vegas.
like the Big Rock gun show. Is that right?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I think it's Big Rock.
I don't know.
It's a big one too, but
yeah,
as far as SHOT Show goes, they're gonna, after the cluster of getting to the last SHOT Show.
Yeah.
They're not anxious for another repeat of going.
Was it hard getting there?
That was when the flights kept getting canceled. And we ended up saying, screw it. And we drove.
Yeah, but was that like a freak incident, freak deal, or what?
I don't know.
I don't think. Listen, who wants to fly today when tires are falling off of airplanes and doors and whole sections of airplanes?
Well, I didn't want to fly anyway, so I was cool with driving.
Sucked out of the airplane. Yeah, right. Yeah, the driving.
That's a long ass.
That is. It is a long drive. It's a long. What did you say?
29
it's a long drive.
Hours? Yeah, it's a long drive.
How many hours?
29.
Shoo-wee. That's like a day and then some, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, no matter who's driving.
And it's February, so it's cold and snowy.
Not down in Texas and
Arizona. We got nailed with a snowstorm in Arizona.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. I thought it was in August. Is it in February?
Yeah, it's the end of January, beginning of February.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. No.
I will only fly on Airbus equipment from now on. Yeah. The CEO of Boeing makes $33.5 million. Yeah, did you hear that? That Josh Hawley was giving it to him, man. I tell you, I know you lefties out there that like to watch the show. I know that Josh Hawley probably isn't a favorite of y'all's, but sometimes you just got to put away the fact that he's a Republican and then just be like, oh, that guy's just a prosecutor. That's who he is. That's what the deal is. And man, some of his times he's asking that dude, he's like, yeah, could you tell us how much you made this year? And that guy's like, well, yeah, we put that in our paperwork. We shared that with you. It's in all our paperwork. And he's like, yeah, no, I know, but I'm asking you, I want you to tell us. And he's like, it's a big number. And he's like, do you think that $33.5 million is right? And the guy's like, yeah, that sounds right. And he's like, and that's like 45% more than it was the year before, correct? And he's like, no, that sounds about right. And he's like, what do you get paid $33.5 million for? And he's like, well, to lead Boeing and to do good things and whatever. And he's like, well, as part of that being transparent. He's like, yeah. Listen, I figured he's transparent. He's so transparent that he's removing parts of the plane while the plane is in motion so people can see through the plane, into the plane, and out of the plane with nothing in between. That's how transparent they are at Boeing. They're going to, one of these days, be flying on that invisible airplane that Wonder Woman had. How stupid did she look as a superhero flying, sitting in a chair? Like, here we got Superman flying through the air looking cool, and she looks like she's sitting on a toilet. And you can't tell she's sitting in a seat because it's invisible. Yeah, see, John, you're on it. Man, yeah. I don't know. Very, very weird concept. Up in the Bird. It's a toilet. It's Wonder Woman. Weird concept. Why couldn't she have flown too? You've not missed anything, guys. First and foremost, we're getting ready to get into story time. I'm glad that Jack is here. We're getting ready to get into a story time where I talk about days of old when I was a copper and I was out there violating rights under the color of law. I'm going to tell you a story of when I was one of those dirty cops doing bad things. And I will tell you what I was doing, and you guys will want to cancel me and you'll no longer watch. I'll tell you what I was doing. But before we get there, wait a minute. We were talking about
ongoing work in the city.
Yeah. Well, we're talking. No. Well, yeah, we were talking about the work, but we were also talking about Boeing, that thing. But no. Yeah. That's okay. Now we're getting back. So I was watching all of this, but I woke up first thing this morning to major news. And before we get into all of the politics of it all, I figured this story time with Bilbrey would be good. And I could let you guys know she's on the golden throne. It's not golden. It's clear. It's translucent. It's invisible. What a weird deal. So I woke up today to major news, along with watching politics on the local level and watching politics on the state level and watching it around the country and then watching international politics. Besides all of that, I also, as a political junkie, I also fancy myself to be a bit of just a news connoisseur of news around the world, and specifically speaking, I have a brother right now who is in the United States Navy, and because of that, he is in Spain. and or not Spain. Why did I just say that? That's nuts. They went on vacation to Spain recently. He is in Italy. And he is stationed in Italy. He's there for about a 2-year period in Italy. And so, along with my following what goes on everywhere, I've definitely been following the news in Italy. And I noticed that there was some international news today. Okay. And I was following through some Italy stories. And then quickly, boom, bang, pow, there was a very important news story, breaking news out of France. And I thought, man, I need to see this too. This is very important. And I don't know if you guys watched this or not, or if you guys have seen this. Charlize, I see it. No, you are more than fine. This serious breaking news story out of France brought me into this story of my time in law enforcement. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sir Elton John, while shoe shopping, knows what most of us knows, that shoe shopping can be a real pisser. He allegedly pees in a bottle in a shoe store in France. And here's the story. Here he is, 77 years old, looking like Elton John, holding his bottle of urine. Elton John couldn't hold it while shopping for sneakers over in France and ended up pissing in a plastic bottle in the middle of a store. So says the guy who runs the shop. Ryan Sucker, we'll just call him Ryan Sucker, owned Sugar Kicks in Nice, tells TMZ that Elton... Now listen, first of all, the man did not know it was Elton John, nor apparently did he know who Elton John was. So imagine you're some kind of a shoe salesman. Look at the shoes in the background. This is not like, he's not like the peddler in Pinocchio. This is not some like 90-year-old man making shoes out of wood. Look at those kicks on the wall back there. This guy's like in a pretty trendy area. So a 77-year-old man comes into the shop with a couple of pre-teenage kids and a bodyguard. So what you're watching is, very well, it could be like a grandpa, a son, and the grandsons, or who knows? You don't know what the deal is because you don't know who this is. So it's two adult men. One of is 77. One looks like he's big and buff, and then we got some young boys running around the store trying on different shoes. I'm assuming, money's no object. They're just buying up all these shoes. They probably dropped, a pretty penny in there, I would assume. At which point, the 77-year-old man comes up to you, the store owner, and says, hey, mate, is there a public restroom here? And the shoe salesman says, no, we don't have a public bathroom. Now, first of all, I would be like, here, take back the shoes, give me my money. I'm going to go to a store where I can buy shoes and pee if I need to. I think that is just absolutely, that is a pet peeve of mine. If you are a salesman, if you're in the world offering business and you're wanting customers to come into your store, you should offer amenities like a bathroom. So strike one for the salesman. And just real quick, Kate, I'm off page. So if there's comments I need to know about, let me know or whatever, but I'm off page for a moment. So Elton John says to this man, probably nice, and he's speaking in his, English accent, so he's sounding all prim and proper. Could you point me in the direction of the water, the WC, the water closet, the loo? And the shop guy's like, we don't have a toilet. So the 77-year-old man turns to the younger guy that's with him that we now know is a bodyguard, and he asks for a bottle. He then took a few steps away from the other shoppers, and he did what he needed to do to then be able to start peeing into the bottle just in the middle of the store. He's 77. He's probably not, he probably shakes a little bit. He's probably like trying to hurry. So he does what probably anybody would do in that case. He misses the bottle a little bit and he dribbles onto the floor in the store. So now there's Elton John pee on the floor in the store. But he wasn't like rude about it. He asked for a towel from the security guard so that he could clean up the mess. Listen to me. Elton John, 77-year-old man, cleaned up his own pee on the floor. Like, that's pretty cool. The shop owner says he was a little shocked and frustrated that a customer would ever take a tinkle like that. And this was the first time in his 3 years of running this business. Look, Elton John, when he's got to go, man. It's Sir Elton John. It seems like Elton really had Ryan's head spinning, TMZ says. He had no idea who Elton John was. When all this was going down, he asked Elton what he did for a living. This is my best part. I'm going to do this when people ask me. When they ask the guy, what do you do for a living? Sir Elton looks at him and says, I'm Elton John. I'm going to do that from now on when anybody asks me what I do for a living. I'm going to say, well, I'm Kristopher Bilbrey. I think that's good enough. I'm going to say I'm Elton John. So the guy didn't know what that meant, but then he noticed that after this pee incident, that customers were coming up and wanting their pictures with Elton. Somebody, I think, wanted to buy the bottle.
You have to come back and read Brandon's comment. I'm sorry.
Where you at? Yes, that's exactly it. Hold me closer, tiny bottle. Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what happened is Charlize might have beat Brandon. Derek, working for the power company, I pee at every job site like a dog marking my territory. I pee everywhere. If I were Elton John, I wouldn't even have opened my bin doors. Barn. I'd just say, oh, here's some money. Well, so here's the thing. That's the thing is, in today's world, like probably what could have happened is the shoe salesman could have just said, hey, could I keep that bottle, and had him like sign it and kept it on a shelf. It's closed up, so it's not like, it's not dirty. It's not going to smell. You'd have it closed up, like a water bottle closed up or whatever. And And there you would be a story. Like, that would be a story. People would come in just to see that. People will come in to see just where Elton John peed on the floor. Ryan said he did a quick search online, and that's when he realized, oh my God, that's Elton John. In the end, we're told Elton bought 2 pairs of sneakers, stingy bastard, for his sons, snapped a picture for the store, and shook hands with Ryan before leaving. Oh my God, I hope he had a moist towelette first. Holy crap. Yeah, dude. If he is, listen to me. If he was smart, he would do that. He would put a little piece, he would sign the floor and put a little piece of, glass over it. Yes. Pee in a bottle is stinging the police, if I remember correctly. I love it. I love when people really, really, really know music. That's why I like talking to Brandon. Brandon completes me musically. So this is just kind of a really, really strange deal. No word if he used his pee hand during the salutation, but there was no mention of the PP incident. Listen, Ryan, the store owner, clearly wasn't crying over spilled urine, because he told TMZ overall Elton was very cool. When you're Elton John, the world is your toilet. But it ended up that the shop owner actually shared this picture here of Elton and his boys on his wall on Instagram. And he said, thank you, Sir Elton, for coming in and, utilizing our thing. But at the end of the day, it's like, if this guy would have recognized that it was Elton John, do you think, like, he would have let Elton John use the bathroom? Like, I understand if I just walk in Nice and be like, hey, mate, you got a water closet here that I could use? You know what I mean? I probably wouldn't get to use the bathroom. But if this guy would have known who Elton John was, I bet he would have let him use the bathroom. And this brings us to my story. So you're fine. Sorry about that. I didn't know if you were going to do that or if I was going to do it. Sorry. I just came back. So for all of you, mostly Jack, who likes to bring up my time in law enforcement and wonder if I was a good cop or a bad cop, if I beat people, if I violated people's rights, I will officially tell you of the, well, it's not one and only time. I will put it to you like this. There is a specific incident that I'm going to be talking about, and it's something that happened on multiple occasions at various places, but I'm going to tell you the first time. There was one time as a law enforcement officer that it was the story on Elton John. That's crazy. There was one time as a law enforcement officer that I abused my authority as a cop. And it was late one night. It was a dark and stormy night. And I was downtown Muncie with other law enforcement officers. And we were off duty. We were off duty. We were in the village. And we was the road dry. We were may or may not have been visiting some of the establishments down in the village where you could drink. And I, as you know, am not a drinker. I'm not a drinker. I don't drink alcohol. That doesn't mean I haven't drank alcohol. I just don't drink now. And back at this time, I was drinking. We were on foot, and just a couple years before this, I had been a student at Ball State University. And I was aware that for those of you that are from Muncie, you will know where I'm talking. You will know where I'm talking. So on on Riverside and no, it's not Riverside. It's University and Dill Street. There at that corner, there's that VP. Used to be across the street from the Ball State Credit Union. It's now that apartment complex or whatever. And during the day, that village pantry would allow patrons to use their restroom. They had a public restroom. However, during the evening hours, specifically on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, they would shut their bathroom off and they would not allow the drunks to come in and use their bathroom. And I knew from being a law enforcement officer that even during the evening time hours, they would allow police officers to use the bathroom, but they wouldn't let public. And the reason they wouldn't let the public is because generally what would happen is you would get drunk kids go in there and do stupid crap and tear the bathroom up and yada, yada, yada. It's drunk college kids. Okay, I get it. I understand. So one night, I'm not at work, and I'm down there with other police officers and other, I won't dime anybody out, but there may or may not have been some deputy prosecutors down there as well. And we were going from one bar to the next, and for some reason, somebody wanted to go to the VP to get like a Gatorade or something. And we went in there, and I really, really, really had to pee. And I went up to the place, and I asked the guy if I could use the bathroom. And he was like, "No, sorry, we don't have public restroom." And I was like, "Oh my God, like I'm not going to be able to hold it till I get to the place." And so my options were go outside and try to find a place around the building that I could try to pee without getting like a, public indecency or public intoxication, or abuse my authority and whip out my badge and say, "I'm the police," smack him around and use the bathroom. And so I pulled the badge out and I was like, "Well, excuse me, sir. I'm down here on an official business, and I need to check your bathroom." I didn't tell him I needed to check the bathroom. I just asked him if I could go and use the bathroom. And he graciously let me go in and use the bathroom. And from that, yeah, you like that? Yeah, several of you got to it. Yeah. Right, Brenda? So I, patrons only, but cops may, even if not. Cop on duty I knew sat at a bar with us. He was allowed to use. Yeah, right. See? So from that point forward, anytime we were down there in the area and I had to use the bathroom, if we were out throwing a couple back, I wouldn't even ask. I would just go in, show my badge, and they would part the chains and let me go back. So I can understand, because listen, I am like Sir Elton John. When I gotta go, I'm like a little kid. I don't like go in anticipation. I think that I keep playing and playing and playing until when I gotta go. It's like when I tell you I gotta go to the bathroom, at that point, like, I need to go. We need to find something, because I've needed to pee for the last 2 hours. So I can definitely understand him pulling that. That's my John Sproles moment. You see why I have such a problem with the crap that thanks for the tip. I'm going to start carrying a badge out when I go out now. Yeah. You know, if you just get one of those junior deputy badges or whatever, you flash that real quick. Those guys, they don't know. They don't know. You know, it'll be all right. They won't do anything to you. They won't do a thing. So yeah, you know, that's my one abuse of power story. Yeah, right. It's kind of like a pregnant woman. If she says she's gotta go, get the hell out in front of the door. That's exactly right. You just think of me as a pregnant woman. If I tell you I gotta use the bathroom, I mean I've got to use the bathroom. So the other thing is, I got you uncomfortable with the special perks of the job, huh? You got comfortable with, yeah. See how that is. Oh man, you know, listen. One weekend you're getting special bathroom privileges, and then the next you're buying crack down in the park, and it's a slippery slope, my friends. From there, it goes to selling cocaine with T-Bone out of the patrol car, in the trunk of the patrol car at the mall, and beating good public citizens just because you can. All from that incident where I showed my badge just to get into the bathroom. Ah, man, I was like the Serpico of the bathroom. Man, because inflation, I don't know. It's probably increased. $300, $350. Let's take a Google real quick before we move on to find out. Midwest. How much is an 8-ball? Let's find out what the Google machine says. Okay, here we go. It's going to tell us right here. I feel like Batman typing in the big thing in the bat cave. Boop, 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 boop. And it's going to tell us. It's going to print out the thing. Let's see what it says. Retail prices, wholesale prices. This is Europe. Let's get to America. Central America, North America, United States. See what the years are here.
Well, Al was saying it's 160 there.
Holy crap, that's cheap. But you're lower down than we are.
I did a Google search and I came up with 336.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. See, he's closer to Mexico than we are.
Yeah, we have to pay transportation costs.
Yeah. Listen, when I was on the job, it was about 240 to 260 around here. But you know, we're in the Midwest, man. That's the deal. Yeah, that's Shipping and handling here. Karen says, what are you shopping for? An 8-ball of cocaine? Karen's like, oh. That's hilarious. All right. So that's my story time with Bilbrey. A lot of people said they were mad at Elton John. Yeah, right. 336 there, and it gets stepped on 3 or 4 times before you get it. Absolutely. That's exactly right. It's like 7.8% pure by the time it gets there. Okay. So, the last thing I just want to say before we move into reality here is I'm not mad at him. Like, listen, he had to clean up. He cleaned up. He didn't just leave it. It wasn't like he was being an asshole. Like, imagine this. He's a 77-year-old man, and he asked, and the guy was like, no, I think that's a shitty thing to do. He should have been like, yeah, right this way, old customer who's buying in my store. You know what I mean? Charlize says, so when you said getting crack at the park, you meant drugs. Ah, okay. Well, yeah. You didn't know what park I was talking about. Yeah. Same park. But to be nice, I won't name it. All right. So now onward to the other odds and ends and the political stories. So a couple of interesting factoids that I found out. Does anyone know? Has anybody heard that Angie Hibner has been let go from Muncie downtown, whatever it is that she does? Is anybody aware of that? Has anybody been made aware of that? I heard yesterday that she was let go, and it's really kind of a a shocking little deal, because this is obviously something that has been in the works for a while. Real quick, do you all know who Angie Hibner is? Everybody know who Angie Hibner is? I thought she was doing things. She was doing things. Let me tell you what I've heard from the scuttlebutt. Okay. So the scuttlebutt on the street, she's only been here for a year. I know. Charlize, do you remember this? I was going to look this up earlier. And I didn't get around to it. Was she the woman that Ridenhour introduced during A Dream with Dan, and he was like so excited that she was moved here from Hamilton County or whatever? He's like, somebody moved here from Hamilton County. We normally have people moving in the opposite direction. We don't get people moving here from Hamilton County. I'm pretty certain that's who it was. That's her, yeah. I don't know who she is. Okay, stand by 1 second. I'm going to pull this up so you guys can get an understanding of who she is. City of Muncie. We'll go to... I'm trying to think. Did she speak in... I know she spoke in an MRC meeting here recently. I know it wasn't the last MRC meeting, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't 2 MRC meetings ago. It might have been 3 MRC meetings ago. She may have spoke in the, it wasn't June, it wasn't May. I think it was the April. So that's what I'm going to go back here to and see. It'll be easy to find out. April 18th. I know she's been at the last couple of meetings. Let me just jump through her real briefly. I don't see her in the audience, but that doesn't mean anything. If she would have spoke, it would be close to the end. Oh, that might be her there. Give me 1 second. I'm just going through this. Man, it's crazy how much I dislike Jeff Howell. Oh God, and Charlize Jameson. I hate that. Not Charlize, Shireen Wigley. Man, somebody's going to have to get a different name. And the names are not anything alike, but I always do that. And that should get me punched. Okay, let's see if this is her. Let's see if she's here in this one. I want to introduce her to you guys.
May 16th.
May 16th, they said?
May 16th, according to the agenda.
Okay, we will click to the Muncie redevelopment. Is that right?
Yes.
May 16th. Okay.
I pull up. I do this. I search smarter, not harder, Christopher.
Yeah. How do you search? Oh, you search by the. Yeah. I get it. Well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, right here we are. Yeah, here we go. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, here she is in the audience. I thought it was later or earlier on in this, but and let me pull this up here. I'll give you guys a little taste of who this is. Have a little bit of an understanding, and then we will talk about what this is. All right, here we go. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Shireen can get a new name. I work too hard to get mine. All right, here we go. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, I have a quick update, and then I also want to go over a project that has kind of bubbled up here recently that I kind of wanted to bring to your attention. So the update is, I don't know if you've been walking downtown, but I personally wanted to say thank you to the MRC. You can see your dollars at work. I'm literally, if you guys had approved the project for the ADA ramps being up to code and replacing those, and they're being replaced all over downtown and they're looking fantastic. So thank you so much. One thing that I did when I came on board about a year ago is I had stepped back to really meet with all of the community leaders, business owners, property owners in the downtown. Part of that was really getting a good understanding of some of not just our uniqueness here in downtown Muncie, but the strengths as well as what are some gaps and challenges. And so part of that was also stepping back to say in 2024, when I looked at the different partnerships that we have specifically to in reference to the MRC dollars, looking at exactly what would be a good project when it came to economic development impact, when it came to redevelopment in the downtown, looking at what would be a great project where that money could be spent. Like I said, some things started to bubble to the top, and looking at those challenges, which I actually have something that I want to share with you as I'm talking.
She's had an idea, and this idea has partially been her undoing, in my opinion.
That we can walk back. I got you. Go ahead.
And I'll tell you why.
So I actually had been talking with Trevor Freydeberg as all of the talks with the Ready 2.0 grant came up, and him and I were talking about our business experience, and I was talking to him about some of the challenges that I see in the downtown. And it was at one of the regional meetings where I was hearing from other downtown development directors as they were talking about very similar things happening in their downtown. One of the challenges, which I have this on page 2, one of the challenges that I saw is that a lot of property owners in the downtown, they've bought these beautiful historic buildings and they've remodeled half of it. But like, they get halfway through and it costs 3 times what they thought it would. And so now you have the retail space in the bottom half just sitting empty. And so you'll see in the picture where I have property owners there, that property has been sitting empty for 2 years. And again, prime retail. At the same time, it's on our books that it's owned, it's filled, but it's not being used as retail. And so looking at it makes the downtown look like there are empty buildings just sitting empty. And so looking at what can we do with that? At the same time, the second challenge that I saw in talking with business owners is when you have small business owners that they really need to get into a retail location, a lot of times they will take that risk and that jump and get into the retail location and not have enough money to keep up with their overhead. The other thing is looking at I've talked to a lot of people that say we have a lot of hidden gems here. And the more that we have when it comes to arts and culture, when it comes to businesses that have that unique niche, but they might not also have the knowledge and the resources to know how to scale, or is it time to get into a brick and mortar? How do I make that happen? And so looking at that, as well as in the last 10 years, because of some of the developments that we've had in the downtown, we are starting to see a shift. We actually did market research in 2023 to step back to say, okay, where are we after 10 years of all the changes that have happened in the downtown?
Here we go.
What does our target audience look like? What should we be providing more of in the downtown? We are seeing a shift in demographic, which this kind of floored me. But the average person coming downtown is now 33 years old. And so then diving even deeper into research of what are they looking for? That came down to when it comes down to shopping and when it comes down to whether it's coffee shops, boutiques, they want to support small business. So if you've looked at what's happened to the malls and the outlet malls and things like that, they don't want to go to the big box stores. They want to come downtown, have a cup of coffee, connect with one another, and shop at the small boutiques. So with those 3 challenges in mind, one thing that I went and our team looked at was looking at what are the empty spaces available, what can be done. And so we zeroed in on a location. Earlier, Jeff was talking about the extension of the downtown. You can feel as soon as you get up to Main Street, when you're going down Walnut Street, as soon as you get up to Main Street, it cuts off. You feel this dramatic. So in looking at the things that are going on with the condos going in and the townhomes and the Y, different projects like that, we zeroed in on a location, which is 124 Walnut Street. And that's, if you don't know, it's right across from the county building. It's the Campus Edge, Dan Kreidel. Mm-hmm. We went and looked at that to say, okay, how much would this cost to redevelop it? And the idea that we have, and you'll see on the next page, on page 3, is a business igniter. And what a business igniter is basically a micro market. Again, this targeted audience loves micro markets, coming and shopping at several stores in one location, but you've got the small business owner that cannot afford to be in an actual brick and mortar. This gives them the opportunity to collectively come together and be in a space.
Stumblefoot. So I'm going to pause her there because we've already watched this. This is from a couple months ago. So what she was talking about doing, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, is something that we've all heard in the past. She's talking about making the innovation connector. All right, we all know what the innovation connector is. Hands, do we know what it is? The innovation connector is the building that is out on Jackson and White River Boulevard, where the Muncie Board of Works president, Ted Baker, Mr. Fun, he works out there. And it is basically a great big open, like it's a great big, it's like a school building or an office building, and it's got a bunch of open rooms and offices that are open for rent, and small businesses, like, for example, we could pop out there and have a studio there. What a thought. And rent and have a place there and be there and record. It's a starter place for new businesses. Now, keep in mind, it's a starter space for new businesses. It's where a new business is supposed to go. Yes. Now we know what we're talking about. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to that. So it's supposed to be a place where new businesses can go and can add a little bit of professionalism to them. Say, for example, they've got a good business, they've got a good thing that they're selling, they're putting out, but they don't have enough for the overhead to have an office place and to have, access to the Wi-Fi and to fax machines and office furniture. But out here, you can go and you can be there and you can have this office space and you can get in and you can work and yada, yada, yada. Okay. And so that's the thing. And what it does is it allows people to start and grow. And the idea is, okay, the plan is they are supposed to then grow to the point where they can leave this business incubator, the innovation connector, and move into their own place or their own little area and allow other people to move in. Well, basically what's happened here is Ted Baker has got into this nice little deal where he's out there and everybody knows Bradley Bookout is out there. That's where the regional planning, that's where the Delaware County's MRC, their version of the MRC, the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, that's where they meet. That's where Augusta Corp is. And so what happens is it's not like a place where Brad's businesses have went and grown and then left. They just stay out there and they just keep paying. But because of that, Ted gets a lot of money from the city of Muncie, and he gets a lot of money from Delaware County. And because of his closeness with government, he is getting money hand over fist. And, a lot of different things. It's really amazing how little they actually are doing of their mission statement and how much they just are sustainable on the fact that they're getting all this money from the city of Muncie, from Delaware County. It's a bunch of crap. So, boom, bang, pow, all of a sudden, here enters this woman who, as you can see, Republicans and Democrats alike are saying that they like this woman. They think that she's smart. She does a lot of good work. Here we got Kat Carey saying she was thorough on her research and gaining input from the neighboring communities. She's really doing her work. She's trying to put all these together. She's going out and talking to people and doing some good work. She is now deciding that she wants to create a business very similar to Ted's, where people can come and put in a business and do this and grow it and do what they got to do to the point that they can leave. Well, that sounds like a great idea. Unless you're Ted Baker. And then it sounds like, oh shit, someone else is going to be out here in the fray getting monies that we could be getting. So, yeah. She didn't specifically know who she needed to, be in bed with and who was good and who was bad. She was out here just doing life and being cool. As you noticed, everybody liked her. Everybody seemed to get along with her, and she seemed, to be on the ball. But then something weird happened. Okay? And in order to see that, we need to go to let me get up here. We need to go here to the Delaware County government. And okay, it wasn't at this last one, which would have been June. Let me pull up these videos here. Live Redevelopment Commission, Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, May 9th. Okay, here we go. All right, let me show you what happened here. Yes, Angie Hibner. For those of you that are just watching, we are talking about the breaking news that she has, well, either been fired or she parted ways I thought the city of Muncie was the pass-through agent for federal state grant dollars that have been awarded to the Innovation Connector. Some of that is true. Some of that is true, Jackie. And that is true, but there is a lot of edit money. If you get on specifically, you can find where edit money has went from Dan's edit fund to the Innovation Connector and to Ted Baker. Just no question about it. And that would certainly not have anything to do with.
Well, we saw that in one of the meetings. Wasn't it like $100 and some $1,000?
Yeah.
The Board of Works approved that was going to the
Yeah.
Innovation Connector.
Yeah.
And that was just one meeting. And we watched that one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So you are right to an extent. I mean, you're right. You're definitely right. They do assist in that. But then at the same time, the city of Muncie simply just gives money out of, our tax dollars to the innovation connector. Okay, so then, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Okay. So then Angie Hibner went to the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting back on May 9th, the day after the election. I was there. Janet was there. And we watched this.
Good morning. I'm Angie Hibner, Director of Downtown Development, and I actually had Mr. Bookout send you guys a summary for the Business Igniter. And we are requesting funds to put what we're calling a Business Igniter in the downtown.
And keep in mind, she's standing, as she's speaking, she's standing in the Innovation Connector. That's where this meeting is occurring, is at the Innovation Connector. And she's talking about making another one of these things, basically, downtown Muncie.
Downtown. Part of what we did last year, we did a whole marketing research to say, as things are changing in the downtown, who is coming to the downtown? What is our targeted audience? Who are we serving? That research came back that the average person coming downtown was 33 years old. And in looking at that, saying, okay, what do we need to provide more of?
I'll check into that, Silverfoot. I think there's some connection.
Challenges that we are seeing within the downtown. One being that new target coming in, they're wanting more boutique shops. They're wanting more smaller. They want to support small business. The other challenge that we're seeing is that a lot of our property owners in the downtown, we have prime retail spaces sitting empty because they've run out of money to finish renovating their space. So in looking at that, having prime retail just sit empty, but at the same time, we needed a lot more smaller shops for that new targeted audience coming in. The other thing was in talking with a lot of business owners, that when it comes to small business, when it comes to boutique shops, looking at the types of resources that they're needing in order to launch into a brick and mortar, oftentimes getting into that brick and mortar, they know that they need to offer more of their product and get it into a retail space, but affording that on their own, a lot of times they'll get out into that brick and mortar and then within 9 months, 12 months, they're struggling and end up closing. So you have that high turnover in the downtown with the boutique shops. And so what the Business Igniter is an actual like micro market where you have 10 to 12 businesses that all in one space, but they're also have to agree to go through a program where they're offered resources that, again, a lot of small business owners, they're fantastic at what they do and what they have to offer. But when it comes to actually strengthening those businesses to get into their own brick and mortar, what this would do is provide them with those resources to launch them into their own brick and mortar. But at the same time, it's an 18-month program. So what it offers downtown is that actual shopping experience that the target is looking for. But at the same time, it also develops those properties for the property owners. So that is what we're requesting funds for. As far as the actual project,
so she's asking for funds from the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission for this. Okay, and so let's listen to this.
This in January 2025, we needed $225,000. We have raised half of that, and so we're looking for $125,000. We need $50,000 to get it actually to get the project started, to start with the development of the space.
Questions?
Go ahead. What is the plan moving forward? Like, I'm trying to think as a business,
like outside of Muncie, outside of Delaware County. If I came to the county and I were looking at what we have, especially moving forward in 2 to 5 years with Ball State bringing something in, what is the plan to work as a more cohesive unit? Because if I were a business owner coming from out of town, I would not know who to choose. Do I choose the Innovation Connector? Do I choose this? Do I choose Ball State? How is that going to be tracked and hopefully work together so there's not that confusion?
Yep. For the sake of this project, we actually are collaborating with everybody that you just talked about. I met with President Mearns and then looking at what they're doing innovation-wise, what they're doing with the village. And the goal is to collaborate and not take business from downtown versus back and forth. But more importantly, even here at the Innovation Connector, having that partnership to say, okay, these are startups, and startups, that's great, give them resources, but when they're ready to launch, that's where kind of the breakdown is. And so that's where we have a whole curriculum set in place to give them resources and things.
Because with the Innovation Connector, nobody's ever leaving.
So then eventually getting them out of that business igniter and then into an even bigger brick and mortar. So does that answer your question as far as partnerships and collaboration?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have a question too. With this being in the city, I mean, it's a great opportunity, but also, has anyone spoke with Ted Baker with the Innovation Connector or the SBDC?
Yes, so that would be me. I've met with all of them. They've been well aware of this project for quite a while and fully back it, support it, look at that. And in fact, we would be working with them as we do intake for those 12 businesses that would be in the Igniter. That would be really going through an analysis of, is this a business that would be a good fit to come in here? And that's where we would be gaining a lot of those businesses that would be a good fit.
So is there a certain amount you're looking for, I guess? We got 3 numbers here.
We're requesting 50,000. I'm working with also the location on Walnut Street is 124 Walnut Street. That's Dan Kreidel's space. There's like luxury apartments above, and then it's right across from the county building. And that's going to take right at 50,000 to finish out the development and get that ready. The other thing is too, we've been working with the city. If you look at what's going on in the downtown, as soon as you get up to Main Street, the business stops. A lot of people that are shopping and so we've been looking at specifically too, everything that's going on with Ball State. We're looking at extending our downtown footprint. And so that takes us up to where the county building is, right across from there. Then you have condos going in, you have the new Y going in. And so the goal is to put like the red brick paving to continue that so that the shopping continues and we have a bigger footprint.
What's the financial commitment from the city?
So right now,
Here we
that's being determined. We are getting funding from MRC, and so they have matched us. And so
We're getting money from MRC.
that's where altogether we have Ball Brothers, MRC. The city has yet. They have a couple other projects that we're working on, plus the Ready grant, looking at exactly how much funding can go into that. So they just were awarded that as far as how much projects go.
And Brad, if this board were to approve her reclass, what TIF would this come out of?
Being that it's outside of the TIF districts, but in the heart of the city, my recommendation would be various TIF districts that could support it. It's ultimately your decision on what you want to do. On similar request, if the committee bought sheriff's cars or bought, something like that, it came out of various TIF districts within the county. Usually the top 10 strongest TIF districts, the amount would be divided equally among them. So that is one way to do it. Also, the Morrison Road TIF district, part of that is within the city, so you could allocate a larger portion from the Morrison Road TIF district, which is healthy and could help. So there's a couple different options.
We currently have 2 incubator spaces already downtown. This one is close to downtown. And then we have Ball State wanting to build a 4th. So this would be a 5th in a concentrated area.
Not necessarily when you talk about an incubator, it's an actual market I mean, it has 3 different things going on. So we would actually be working with the other incubators to then take them to the next level.
Do you have a number on how many people could get into this space if it is finished?
12, yes. And it's an 18-month program. So it's not like they can stay and be stagnant, and like they literally, the goal is to go through the program and get out into the community.
Right. I guess I should have been more specific. I'm sorry. How many have expressed interest so far, or do you have any aware, like, are
Yes.
you like 6 of 12, 8 of 12? Like,
Yeah. So right now we're right at 5 out of 12. And so, but we haven't marketed it. We've been meeting with small business owners.
You're also waiting to hear from Ready and waiting to hear from the city as well. That motion to table until we hear back from those.
I got a motion. I got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Second Harvest Food Bank.
Okay, so she went there looking for $50,000. They tabled that when she went in there, and then at the last Delaware County Redevelopment Commission.
So I asked
in
ChatGPT to build me a
June.
Shopify store, and it said, no, we can't do that. But here is about a
Sorry, I didn't want that guy talking. At the last redevelopment commission meeting, she went back because they tabled it. All right. So this woman's like really concerned with what's going on, wants to get this done. And this is where we start to have a problem. Okay. And I listen to what she says, and I'm going to tell you what the issue is, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Well, I don't know. I guess what I think is going on.
Partners are going to help pay for it.
So basically, if you got the understanding,
salaries.
they didn't seem the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission didn't seem very interested in doing much.
Downtown development. I wanted to give you an update. I know that when I came last month, there were a few questions, so we tabled the project with the business igniter, and I had Brad send you guys a document just as far as where we are with that project. So the city has committed $80,000 to this project.
So MRC has given her some money. I don't know what that amount of money is. She just said the city. I don't know if that's including the MRC or if she's saying the MRC and now she's also saying the city, meaning Mayor Ridenour. She just said Mayor Ridenour has earmarked $80,000 going towards this project. Okay.
As far as where we are with that project. So the city has committed $80,000.
Committed
to this
$80,000.
project, so we did have a firm commitment of that. And then we've also talked with all of the local entities that are, whether it's business incubators, anything that has to do with entrepreneurship. And so we've teamed up with them to really say, what are your thoughts on this? What does this look like? And they were super excited as far as seeing it as a team partnership and it being a resource to them to move a lot of those business owners forward as well. We've gone out and talked to many business owners who would be interested in being part of the Business Igniter. We got a quote on the renovation, the redevelopment of the interior of the building, and it looks like it's going to cost right at $65,000. So we are requesting a one-time gift of funding for the redevelopment of that downtown building.
Anybody have any questions?
I do. I'm sorry. What is the plan? I read through the packet that you sent over and over and over again last night because I know you and I have talked. I love this idea, but my concern moving forward is where is the money going to come from in 2 years? Like once the initial investment is done, the salary is $80,000, then you have operating.
Because keep in mind, okay, this is a great idea. It sounds like a great idea. Okay. But there's going to be someone who works there that's like the administrator that they're wanting to get paid $80,000 a year. Someone is going to get $80,000 just for being the administrator of a building where other people do this. All right. It's absolutely crazy. Tweety Bird said, is the mayor trying to break up Brad's influence? No, I don't think that. I honestly think the opposite. I think the opposite. I think that he's fine with him being I don't think he really cares one way or another about that, because I think he doesn't look at the county. He doesn't believe he lives in Delaware County. I was under the impression that the Innovation Connector not only provides physical space to start up business, but also supportive training services. Listen, I guess they do. I mean, are they? But I mean, you know, like, I don't know how many businesses just funnel through there. To me, what I've heard from people kind of on the inside, that they don't, they're kind of stagnant right now, because you keep in mind, the Innovation Connector just went to the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission not long ago, February or March of this year, and asked for money. And the MRC asked, well, have you raised rent? And he's like, well, you know, our rent's right in line with where it should be. You know, it's like right there. And we're not really wanting to raise the rent on these guys too much, because, you know, we're wanting to keep them in balance so they'll want to stay here. And it's like, the idea isn't for them to stay here. The idea is for them to come here, get their footing, get a good hold, and then be able to move out into the world. This is not supposed to be a permanent office building, but rather an incubator. All right. And so that's that. Listen to what she says here. The thing I'm trying to get to the part where she says
With rent, if you're
something
at
about
500
the
for 12 spaces, even if that's
Better Business Bureau, I think, or
consistent,
not the Better Business Bureau,
that's
but
only 72,000. So where is
We'll
the
hear.
rest of the coverage going to come from? 4 years or 6 years?
Right. And the budget that you're looking at also included the renovations that first time.
Right,
So moving
yes.
forward then, what we've done is budgeted out how much it would cost for the actual lease. And that's going to come from what we're charging the business owners a month for rent and for like all of the resources. Now we are working on teaming up with the local chamber and several other organizations.
The Chamber of Commerce.
Actual, resources that the business owners get. And so we're actually going to come up on top even at that point as far as
looking to team up with the Chamber of Commerce.
Specifically too, if we have 12 businesses in there. So I guess to answer your question, our partners are going to help pay for those resources as well.
So in that statement right there, she almost made it seem like they're going to team up with the Chamber of Commerce and others, and they're going to help pay for this.
Does that include the salary?
The salary is actually through the city's commitment. And that is something that every year they've committed to.
For how many years is that?
The next 2 years. And then there would be talks of furthering that. It brings 10 businesses into the downtown every 18 months. And then the goal is to get those businesses into their own brick and mortar.
Any other questions?
You said you have a firm commitment from the chamber to provide financial
Listen.
resources?
No, so the educational resources that we're giving, so the workshops and a lot of those resources.
Okay, so scuttlebutt on the street is whatever she was talking about there, nobody knew anything about. So that then brings us into a very weird place. Did she make that up? Did somebody tell her that and not mean it? Did someone put, or did somebody give her a commitment and then pull back on it? Like, what the hell? Why would a woman who's not from this area move into the area, be patted on the back, and be like hailed as this wonderful person, and everybody loves her? Why would she just stand in a meeting and just bold-faced lie about something? I don't think she would. I don't think that she would do that. I think that basically what's happened here is she's had a plan for a business, which I think is probably a good idea and what she's wanting to do. And the city has wanted to control a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And I don't think they wanted to give up the control on that. And so basically, I think what's happened is something has happened. And I think then it basically got called because now the RDC, the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, whatever they are, they were like looking at this, and now they are not there. This is she's no longer on the agenda there. They weren't going to do anything with that, and that's that. Now, as of yesterday, she either quit because she was said, we will let you quit if you quit, kind of one of those things. We'll fire you or you can leave. And that's what's happening. Yeah, I don't think she lied either. I don't think she lied either. But I will tell you that there were people in that room who, when she said that, their eyes got real big and they were like, what? We don't know what she's talking about. The chamber hasn't given her any commitment. Now I'm hearing that there's question on whether or not the city gave her a commitment or not. And again, to me, this just comes back to piss poor leadership from Dan. Number one, I truly believe that they weren't going to do anything that in any way put a damper on anything that Ted Baker was getting. They're not going to harm Ted Baker in any way or harm the Innovation Connector, because that's their baby. They pump a lot of money into that. They get money from the state. They get money from the feds. They get money from the city. They get money from the county. They get money from the MRC. They get money from the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission. It's like every single solitary place that they can go to and get money from, Ted's standing there saying, please, sir, may I have another? And that's what they're doing. Yeah. They didn't seem to know anything about her project from the beginning. However, Dan Ridenour has known about this from the very get-go. Matter of fact, what was that Kate pulled up here? Kate had it up here a minute ago. Let me go back and look. She was right here. Muncie Downtown Development Partnership Board of Directors has announced Angie Hibner as their new executive director effective June 19th, 2023. That was last year. Well, shoot, right before that, either right before or right after, they had her on A Dream with Dan, and Dan was talking about what a great thing it was to have her in the city, and she was going to be a great asset. As a matter of fact, he had somebody in mind that he wanted to place in the director position of that building. So he's got somebody in mind. He actually was saying that as far back as last June, last July, and last August. She's been planning this for a while, and everybody else just act like they knew nothing about this. And then now, boom, bang, pow, she's out as the director of the downtown development. Vicky Veach is coming back in as an interim director, just until they now hire somebody. Look, I'm going to reach out to her and try to get in contact with her and find out if number one, if she would be willing to come on and talk to us publicly. I would be willing to bet she probably won't want to do that, but I will try to get in contact with her and see if she'll talk to me on record, off record, or whatever, because I want to know what's going on, and I don't want to hear what is going on from the Right Hour and the Right Hour people. I think that basically what they did is somebody came in, had a good plan, and it was going to chew into something someone else had going on, and they got rid of her. In my opinion, look, I don't do a whole lot with the downtown development people, but in my opinion, she's done a good job. Now, there might be the little deal of the fiasco with the solar deal, but to me, I don't think a lot of that was her doing. I think she was duped. I think she was duped by the Green Goblin himself and everything else going on there. Did you count her as another one that his department head or leader that is no longer under Dan's reign? How many does that make? No, because I don't truly count her as a department head. She's kind of like an asterisk, kind of like it's kind of yes, kind of no. So it's not really the same in that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's kind of funky there. But it's just interesting that I think they've given her the short end of the stick, and I am definitely going to be looking into what in the hell is going on there, because I don't like when they just immediately now do somebody wrong, because heaven forbid it's heaven forbid it's going to cut into to, you know, a friend of Dan's or whatever. I don't like that. So that's that. And then also, let me see here what these comments are. Dan didn't hire her, but probably pushed for her to be hired. Something of that effect. It was kind of a weird, funky deal there. So with the money amounts that they waste, I'm surprised you're not on top of the downtown development committee. That's the thing. I need to start looking into that, because you're right. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there, and I need to probably find out. That's probably a true statement. Real quick, also in a couple of other city blunders. So I wanted to make sure people are aware of that. Basically, we had the holiday, and then she came in off the holiday, and all of that happened yesterday. So, you know, that's kind of strange that everything happened the way that it happened, because it was just like everything was okay, and then all of a sudden everything's not okay. So that's a little funky. Okay. Also, moving along with some other odds and ends going around the city of Muncie, as we talked about earlier. Here is a picture of some of the milling that's going on North Wheeling, just in time for the Delaware County Fair. The Delaware County Fair that kicks off on this next week, this week going into the weekend, and then the next following week.
Now, I have a question.
Yep.
Last year, wasn't there something going on at Fabulous Joe's, or I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of it.
No, well, Amazing Joe's, and
that was causing some havoc with traffic too.
Well, that caused the issue for Amazing Joe's, but last year at the fair, right in time for the fair, they also had crazy traffic going on. It seems like they always plan all of this crap for right when the fair's coming in. It's like, can't you do other wheeling work at other times other than the week of the fair? Because
Okay.
it's chaos there anyways.
Thank you. I thought that was
But you're definitely right. Definitely right. And it is the city crew doing it. Absolutely. Yeah, Alva. Absolutely. I saw that. Yeah, you're right. So that's that. As far as that city project, I think that's interesting. Also, elsewhere within the city, we have construction being underway at the skate park. Yay! I mean, this skate park, dude, it seems like it's been going on since the 1920s. I mean, this has been going and going and going and going and going. And it's like the Energizer skate park, I guess. So at least they're showing us that they're doing some work. I don't know. I think it's rather crazy.
You do realize you're muted?
No, sorry. I've been talking the whole time. I've been muted.
Yeah.
Muncie pool party is what I was saying. Good thing I was muted because I was saying, look, it's time for the Muncie pool party. This will be fun. And then I noticed that it was today. It was from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. today. So I hope everybody enjoyed that.
No, that point of that post is they rescheduled it for Friday because of the rain.
Was it?
Yeah, go up.
Oh, look. Oh, today's pool party has been moved. Well, look at that. All right. It's been moved to Friday the 12th due to rain. It will still be from 5 to 7, and the first 200 guests get free entry and a sweet treat. So if you're interested, appear and do what you got to do to that. That'll be cool. And so that is that. The other, the last thing I want to mention to you all is Board of Works tomorrow. We will be covering the Board of Works meeting. We will talk about that tomorrow evening. We have a couple of other things. Oh, Stumblefoot. I will look at the budget. I've got a copy of this year's budget. I don't have it memorized right off the top of my mind. But when I get out of here, I will look at the budget and I will send you a copy. You ask for what the park budget was a year. I will let you know what that is. So I will keep you posted. I'll let you know what that is. But I will stay up to date with what's going on with Angie Hibner. I do think it's a bunch of crazy crap. It just seems like all of a sudden, someone's not happy with something and, shit goes sideways. I think that's really nuts. But so goes the city of Muncie. Obviously, Dustin Clark is still on paid vacation, paid time off. I think that's absolutely insane. It's just nuts that that's going on. Today, to remind you guys, is Tuesday, July 9th. If you're watching this live, or if you watch it later, it was broadcast on Tuesday, July 9th, which means today is the 190th day without a response from Muncie City Councilor at large Dale Basham. He refuses to respond to any questions or comments or thoughts or concerns that I have as a citizen of Muncie, Delaware County, as a citizen of Indiana, as a political commentator, a member of the media, someone who follows politics, he just refuses to respond to me. It has been 190 days of silence from Dale, and we're going to continue reporting that to you until he responds or he's out of office, one or the other. So it is what it is. Before we get out of here, please do me a favor, go and hit the like, subscribe, do all of that stuff. That is also the big deal that Charlize said there. This Thursday they're going to be it's the second Thursday, but they'll be doing the first Thursday art walk stuff. So that'll be going on. There will be music at Cannon Commons on Thursday night, Iron Man this weekend. The fair kicks off this weekend. I will get the land bank info for you, John. I will do that. I will do that. So I will let you know. I wish they would move the bands back to Minnetrista. Maybe they could have them in both places. That would be cool. Did he receive questions? Yes, he did receive questions. I sent yes, he's aware of the questions, but he just refuses to respond. So without that, with all of that said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here, and have a great rest of your evening. Have a great Wednesday. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Take care. Good night. God bless. Goodbye. Five more subscribers.